Hey everybody, Miranda Pitrone back here with you. I don't even know my own name. Miranda Pitrone here with you today. I have another one of the stones from Maine. These nice big round ones. And I'm actually having a plan in my head today. I think I'm going to kind of sketch the flower petals on here and then use some of our arced dots and swipes to fill in between the petals. I think that would be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and find my center, and then I'm going to put a dot there, and then I'm going to draw my petals out from that, just because that'll kind of help with the spacing. And I think as far as a color palette, I had a little face painting that somebody did for me that was a beautiful blue flower, so I think I'll take some blue inspiration and get me a little bit away from the fall colors for a bit so I don't make myself worn out from using them so much. But I think I might have actually a blue metallic or two, so we might have to throw those in because I love the metallics. I think I'm going to go with a silver center and do kind of like a frozen flower. I did this design years ago, sort of, like maybe back in 2015. Years ago, at least 3 years, and I just love blues, and a lot of the blues kind of say, you know, winter blue. I have ice blue, I have cool blue, so they're kind of perpetuating that idea of winter. I know we don't want it to be here yet, but I think that's the theme I'm gonna go with just for this stone. Okay, and just to kind of center my petals, I'm gonna go ahead and do the first row of dots here, but I'm doing only a 6-point rather than the 8-point with the plus sign and everything. Alright, let's try this again. So I just have a broken dotting tool here that I call my etcher. So I don't have to erase any pencil lines or chalk lines or anything. I just have to scratch in my sketch if I want to do that onto my background. So that is all I'm going to do, is scratch, on here using the dots that I put down as guidance. Let's see if we can do some sort of thin petals so that we have room to do some arced dots, lines of swipes, that type of thing. I just want to say how much I appreciate all the feedback y'all have been giving me as far as like, hey, make the videos long, we're watching them, or to hear that you're painting with me as we go. That's so cool. It's kind of exciting. I think my spacing might be a little off, so I might have to erase these and redo them. But this is basically how you do it. Just scratch them into the background. And then if I want to erase anything, I just dip my finger in some water and just dab it on there. And it erased. Okay, so now I'm just going to use paint. Yeah, I'm going to use paint. I'm going to use white to outline, our flower petals that we just drew in. Just to kind of give a little definition and just an idea of where to stay when I start doing dots. And the more I look at this color palette of the blues, I think we're going to need a contrast. So I'm thinking maybe reds or purples for the petals. Just kind of do a lineup of those colors up the petal. Excuse me. And then we'll use the blues for our arcs and lines in between. So I'm using a brush right now, and all I'm doing, well, that didn't get mixed up very well. So all I'm doing is pushing down hard for the larger dots, and then I lighten up as I go, but also as you go you lose paint off your paintbrush, so you have less and less paint there, so the dots will get smaller too. Same with your dotting tools. You want to use one of the smallest dotting tools to get this effect of having tiny dots on the outer edge here. So if you have a dotting tool that has a small stylus at the end, that would be what I would recommend to do here. And the same with your dotting tools as you work your way progressively down the petal. You're going to lose paint off your tool, so then the dots will get smaller. Sounds like my time might be running out for now. I might have to come back to y'all. My son is coming in. He's so excited because he can walk down the stairs all by himself now. Hi, happy guy. Are you a happy guy?
No.
No? Do you want to say hi to Mommy's friends? Can you say hi? Good job, buddy. Okay, so it ended up being 24 hours later, but I'm back to help finish up the stone. Hope it was much shorter time for you. That's life, right? Interrupted. Good thing there's pause buttons on cameras. Or stop. And apps that help you clip them all together. So we're just dotting around the petals right now with white to just kind of delineate some space for us to paint in here. So most times with mandalas, I don't really draw lines or anything like that because I always feel so restricted, but with the flowers, or if you're doing a specific shape, it's helpful. You know, you can get it a little more uniform and look at the picture before you fill it in. But ordinarily, like with the mandalas, just I really like to just start in the center and then see where it goes. I'm not sure if I said this yesterday because I can't remember what I said when I started the video, so if I repeat myself, I apologize, but it's just a good reminder. So I start in the center of the petals because I wanted the dots to be bigger in the middle of the petal, and then work my way out to the edges as the dots get smaller. And then I'm just pushing down a little harder in the center and then lightening up as I get to the outer edge. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go with the pinky purples. I love my technical terms. This is Fun Fuchsia. I think that these will be a good contrast for when we do the blue in between the petals. Okay, and this is deep magenta. Alright, while those are drying, I'm going to start with the blues in between the petals. And this is cool blue. I'm just going down far enough to where the petals are almost touching. And it's just enough space to put a dot in there and kind of have it lined up with the deep magentas. Okay, I think I'm going to carry a couple. See how many I can do. 1, 2, maybe. And you can see we're working up close to even my spacing isn't 100% perfect, so don't be stressed if yours is not either. Ultimately, when you finish the piece, it won't matter. Okay, so I have winter blue now. And I'm just going to count up 2 dots, I think, on my petal. And I'm going to switch to going at an angle. So I'm going down at a diagonal here like this. See how this turns out. Just trying something different. So I can only fit 3 dots about. So it may look kind of weird now, but once you start filling in, I'm hoping it'll start to take shape a little bit. Alright, so that was winter blue. Now I have an island blue. We're just going to go up one higher and do the same thing. Pardon me. Then I have tropical blue, which is just a shade darker than the island. You can see too that going from light to darker is creating a nice effect too. And so you could do this with any colors, light purple to dark purple, or pink to red or burgundy. Okay, the next color I'm going to toss in there is Williamsburg blue. Just to kind of cut it up a little here. Like a dark gray blue, kind of like a slate blue, only darker. Alright, I think our pink and purples are dry enough. I'm going to go now for some purple pizzazz. And I want the dot a little bit bigger, so I'm really loading up the brush. I have my camera in a different place today and it's kind of blocking my way. I think it's a good view for you guys, but I'm trying to paint around it here. Just testing out new spots. I think this way is a better view for you kind of to see how I see the design from the top, and then also see the brush being able to touch the stone or canvas or whatever we're working on. So, well, let me know what you think. My spacing might be a little off too because, like I said, it's difficult to see around the camera. Alright, I think that is good. So that was the purple pizzazz. And if you're using dotting tools, all you're going to do is just keep going up in size. You probably know this already, but just go to a bigger size and put on more paint to get your larger dots. So now I have some coastal blue, so I'm going to go back to working on the outside where the blues are. Alright, so now I have some ice blue metallic. Ooh, that one's a little sticky, so just have to make sure that if you have paint that does this, it may just be a little bit older and you could use a new bottle, or you just make sure you pull your tool up far enough that that little string goes back down straight instead of flopping over onto your piece. Okay, I think I'm going to go one more round of navy blue dots. And then I'm going to switch it up and go to the lighter colors we started with of blue and do a few swipes in the same color scheme. So this is kind of giving you the darker contrast here, and then we'll start again with the light ones for swipes. Also too, that kind of helps with, I guess, covering up the spacing differences, because I think on one of these I have like 7 dots, and then some I only have 5 on these outer ones, so it's not a big deal. We'll just alleviate that with some swipes and change up the pattern a little bit and distract away from that. Okay. Alright, so when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking I might go a completely different color. It seems like we are getting a lot of blue, which I love, but I think I might switch it up completely and go for some greens and kind of add a completely different contrast to the outer edge. Okay, so I have this nice ocean green that I think will really give a good contrast here for a swipe. So I'm just going to get a good amount on my brush and start up here at the top. And also too, it'll kind of help to hide the borders of the background right here if we do some swipes over it. And with these, just take your time. It doesn't have to be rushed. Personally, I think it just adds a nice breakup from the dots to do something a little different in with it. Also too, it's kind of a loosely based idea of a flower and then having leaves around it. Which it doesn't have to be exactly like the real world. That's the whole thing about art, right? We can do whatever we want. So really on the swipes, just take your time. Swipe, swoosh, they all sound really fast, as I said before if you watch any of my other videos, but really just taking your time and creating them in a slow motion. Even with your dotting tools, you can use them. And I have a couple of videos, one of them where you can actually see how to reload to do these long ones. So you double dip on a stylus and just drag it out longer, or you can drag some of the paint from up here and drag it longer. But you can still do these with your dotting tools, so don't lose heart just because I'm using a brush. You can do it too. Alright, so back to our petals. I have some berry metallic. Ooh, that's rich. Rich, rich, rich. Love it. So that berry metallic is just a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be about the same size as the purple pizzazz that we put ahead of it. Alright, and our last little dot here of berry. And then we'll let those dry for a bit. Alright, yeah, I definitely think green was a good choice for this. So, alright, so I'm going to go with a foliage green next to do another swipe after the ocean green. And I'm just going to start it back a little bit farther. So you're pushing down hard at the beginning and then just kind of letting up at the end. Just something a little different. And I think we could probably fit one more of a really light green on there. So I'm gonna grab my early spring green here, which is I think the latest one I have. I'm just gonna do one more. Tuck it right in there. And this way too, it just kind of softens up the division between the background and to where the stone is bare. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a dot of burgundy for the last dot in the flower petals. Just because I really kind of like that it's it's subdued kind of pinks and purples in the petals. And you see the navy dried kind of dark, which is okay. You can see it once it's varnished, it'll show up a little bit more, but it also kind of creates a different look. So you have some, I don't know, it kind of looks like negative space there, but you have some division between that and the swipes, which I think is kind of neat. Unexpected, but kind of neat. And so again, this is just the burgundy. Still from Deco Art. These are all Deco Art. Just to kind of combine the purple and red type idea in my head. And I'm off the screen. Sorry. Like I said, this camera setup is not the same as usual, but there you go. So you can see just kind of a different version on adding some swipes and arced dots to your piece and incorporating the flower. Just a lot of different things all in one. Just to have some fun and have a little art adventure. So I hope you had fun with me here today. If you're looking for my other videos, as always, I have my whole channel full of all my other videos. Just search Miranda Pitrone, you'll find them. And yeah, if you have any ideas of videos you'd like to see or new things you'd like to paint with me or have me paint and show you how to do, or different kind of tools to try, I have some other ones around that I can test out, and we will go on this adventure together. All right, I look forward to interacting with you all in the comments, and I hope you have a great day and happy painting.